Have you ever read a book and could visualize everything as if it were a movie playing in your head? Like you're the director and you can clearly see who you would cast, what music you'd use, the way it's shot. I had that experience, and as soon as I put down the book, I just knew this needs to be an A24 movie. In this video, I'm going to talk about why this book should become an A24 movie, and stick around till the end as I share one creative decision I would make if I were the director. The book I just read was Hua Hsu's Stay True. If you haven't read this book, I strongly recommend you do. Coming from a girl who hasn't read a full book since 2020, I could not put this book down. To summarize, Stay True is a memoir about the writer and scholar Hua Hsu's life as a young Asian American man, as well as a memoir for his friend Ken, whose life was sadly cut too soon while both were in college in the 90s. Hua begins the book by documenting his parents' experience of immigrating to the US as students from Taiwan. He then details his particular attention to describing his passion for music and culture that would ultimately shape his identity. He prides himself as a nonconformist, repelled by anything seen as mainstream, to the point where he would judge people based on how basic their taste in music was.
I fucking hate this song.
I love it.
However, the irony is not lost that one of his most important friendships would be with Ken, a guy he would describe as mainstream. Although Ken comes from a Japanese family that has long been settled in the US compared to Hua's Taiwanese family, and although they are on paper the opposites from each other, they bond over their shared experience of being Asian American. The book details themes of immigration, nostalgia, youth and identity, memory, grief, family, and friendship. Hua Hsu is so raw in detailing insecurities of not belonging, whether it be as broad as being the son of immigrants and American culture, or from just disliking mainstream music and fashion. At the same time, he expresses fear of not appearing like a poser. There are so many great anecdotes in the memoir, and it just adds a lot of humor, touching moments, and of course, devastating elements. It's just a really honest piece of work that I felt completely enamored by and privileged to have read. Hua allows us into memories and thoughts, recounting and reevaluating a friendship that ended way too soon. Although now A24 might be seen as mainstream just due to its popularity, it has always been a production house that proudly stands by independent artists. Unlike its contemporaries of making huge Hollywood blockbusters and using it as a means for purely profitable reasons, it's quite evident through its body of work that A24 prides itself with quality stories and ways of storytelling, giving platforms to new or otherwise unknown directors. I mean, Hua Hsu is basically this production house in human form. He has detail throughout the whole book about how much he does not like to be associated with mainstream media. He's very proud of the movies, the books, the music he listens to, the way he dresses. So it's a no-brainer. If any production house is gonna turn this book into a movie, it has to be A24. This book to movie adaptation needs its A24 magic. And like I said, A24 should adapt this book because, numero uno, they really care about stories. I haven't seen a production house get this much hype. I mean, you see an A24 in the trailer and you just know it's gonna be worth its salt. It's gonna be interesting. This is because we, the fans, can see how seriously they care about making a movie or choosing a movie to associate their names with and distribute. The themes of this memoir have A24 written all over them. It is A24 coded. We've got a heavy dose of 90s nostalgia, innocence of the 90s, the fashion, the technology, and most importantly, the music that plays an important motif throughout the whole book. Secondly, the memoir delves deep into youth and identity, huge themes for some of A24's biggest hits. Again, Lady Bird, mid-90s, 8th grade. These themes are no strangers to A24. Memory and grief are big themes in this book, and a movie that hit me so damn hard was none other than After Sun, an A24 distributed movie. There's a part in the book after Ken's death where a mutual friend asks Hua, "Were you and Ken even that close?" The pain that spirals after that, and in trying to remember the past, is something that After Sun could relate to. If you've seen my previous video on After Sun, you know I really loved the heck out of that movie, and it truly was an experience to watch it. I think this memoir deserves treatment worthy of that, and although it was only distributed by A24, it still shows that this company knows what a masterpiece is. This company knows what a good story is. And last but certainly not least, this memoir has huge themes relating to immigration and the complexity of Asian American culture. We have Hua, who identifies himself as an outsider on both sides, from being raised in America by Taiwanese parents, and Ken, a Japanese whose family has been in the US for many generations, providing a very nuanced, in-depth look into the complexities of the Asian American, which thankfully has been a topic in these past few years. We have Minari, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Farewell. If there was any production house that I think could do this book justice, it's A24. Now, lastly, one creative choice I would love to make if I were the director of this book adaptation. There is a point in the memoir towards the end where Hua finds an old script of a home video he and Ken wanted to make, which was their version of The Last Dragon. And the discovery is made years after Ken's death, and he details the absurdity of the script as well as his revelation that the script, which was written by Ken, was a story about themselves, about their purpose, their adventures, reflections on being Asian in America, and thoughts and dreams of who they would become once they entered the real world. So the way I would do this is, I think it deserves a surreal scene. A surreal scene, something like the ending of Florida Project, a little haunting like in After Sun, with a touch of magic like in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think it would be a beautiful tribute to a friendship that was cut too soon. Yeah, I think it would be the perfect way to end the film. So anyways, if you like A24 movies, be sure to click over here and you can watch my analysis on After Sun's amazing, masterful ending. If you have any book recommendations, please let me know down in the comments. I need to read more than one book this year. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It means a lot. I'll see you next time. Bye!